So you think you have to spend hours at the gym doing cardio, lifting weights all day, and doing a bazillion ab exercises for your clothes to fit the way you want them to when you're at work. And so when you're at the beach or at the pool, you can pull your shirt off and you feel proud about what you see. And listen, I'm not saying you shouldn't be hitting the gym, because hitting the weights is what's going to help you build that muscle mass. But outside of that, I see a lot of trainers out here telling folks they got to spend 2-3 hours at the gym like a bodybuilder, which most business professionals, we don't have that kind of time. We can't be at the gym all damn day. And so in this video, I want to share with you the number one exercise that I found after coaching people for almost 15 years that allows them to be able to be healthy, have energy, and look the part on a day-to-day basis. Because being in business, if you want to have an edge, man, you got to look the part. You know, it's like a silent thing that people don't really talk about, but our image, it portrays success. It portrays, it causes people to respect you a little bit more. You can command a room when you look the part. And so the number one exercise that I've found though is walking. I know it sounds crazy. a lot of people, you'd be like, man, nah, it's got to be squats, it's got to be push-ups, and those are strength training exercises. But as far as like walking, there's a couple of reasons I say you need to walk. All right, and it's so important to the point where I went ahead and bought me a walking pad for my home, because a lot of times I'm at the house, I'm shooting content. I'm not like the average trainer who's at the gym, you know, training somebody, counting their reps. And it's no shame to them, but I've become a little bit more aware of how it is working behind a laptop and sitting at a desk for hours, whether it be from writing and scripting content, you know, checking in with my coaching clients, doing calls, doing content like this right here. And so I'm sitting down a lot. And so the reason that I say walking is so effective and that it's the number one exercise is because the first thing, it allows for us to burn more calories. It allows for us to be able to, you know, on a daily basis, it allows for us to easily put ourselves into more of a calorie deficit. You know, on the days I've noticed, you know, whenever I don't do cardio, the next day when I wake up, I don't feel as lean. But just from doing a simple 20, 25, no more than 30-minute walk on the treadmill at nothing crazy, like I'm talking 3 miles per hour with a level 1% incline, I feel way better. I have more energy and I'm a lot leaner the next day when I wake up. And so that's the first thing. You're able to burn a lot more calories. You're able to offset, you know, your calorie deficit. And so a lot of times, a lot of people think that they have to be in such a severe calorie deficit when they're eating, and they're drastically cutting their calorie intake. But you don't have to do that when you're walking enough, because the walking is going to help you cut those calories back, because you're burning calories from walking versus having to, you know, go into like a 800 calorie deficit. You don't have to do that if you're walking. You can walk for 30 minutes, and when it comes to your nutrition, you can have a 3, 4, maybe 500 calorie deficit. That way you're still able to eat. You don't want to be starving yourself. You can't be a grown ass man, 5'7", 5'8", 270 pounds, thinking that you can just sustain a 1,200 calorie diet. It's not going to happen. You're going to be starving, man. All right. And so that's number one. The second thing though is energy. You know, as a business professional, whether you own a business or if you're working in corporate, we're not always using our body. We're using our mind. So that means we have to be mentally sharp, and we can't, you know, be successful if we have brain fog all day, if we have very low mental bandwidth. But if I know at times in my life where if I have brain fog coming off of the morning, I've been grinding, you know, scripting out content, doing different things, I get a little mentally exhausted. And so one of the things that I'll do is I'll hop on my walking pad for 20, 25 minutes. And it's crazy how just walking can kind of like be a reset for you. You know, you've been grinding hard all morning, and then come lunchtime, you know, you eat lunch, and a lot of times people tend to get that itis feeling, and then they'll go back and sit down. And they're like, man, I just feel like I need a little bit of time to like recover from what I just ate. Instead of sitting down after you eat lunch, walk for 20 to 30 minutes. And that way you're going to be able to sustain that energy, and you'll find yourself having a second wind from walking. All right. And so there's a lot of benefits, not just outside of just aesthetics and the way we look. It's also being able to perform at a high level, because we'll have that edge while everybody else they're tired, they're having brain fog, they feel like they got to sit down and sleep. You don't have to do that. You'll be able to go right back into working because you've walked for 20, 25, 30 minutes, or even if it's 15 minutes, it doesn't have to take a long time. All right, so that's the second thing. It's going to help you boost your energy level. And then the last reason is mood and stress. Guys, our ability to be successful in business and in our careers is based on how well we can manage stress. And we're all going through, especially if you're pushing yourself, you look at yourself like you're a high performer, you're gonna go through a great deal of not just physical stress, but mentally. And so what a lot of people tend to do, they cope with their stress by binge eating on chips, binge eating on food, drinking alcohol. You know what these things have? A lot of calories in them. and it's like sabotaging our health and our body. And we look up a couple of months later, you look in the mirror, you're like, dang, I can't even recognize myself. Dang, I'm stepping on the fitness scale and I've gained 30, 40, 50, 60 something pounds. That happens because we're coping in the wrong way with our stress. And when we're not in the mood to be able to do work, we want to find some kind of pick-me-up to get us into working. So we might drink some type of an energy drink that has tons of sugar, and you find yourself noticing that you have developed a bit of a gut, but it's from all that sugar and the calories that you're drinking and not just eating. And so instead, we can manage our stress with exercise. This is at the game where I am in my life right now, guys. I'm not just exercising and walking for looks and appearance. It's important to me. I want to look a certain way, but it's also to manage my stress. And so walking is a great way. You don't have to do high intensity cardio. You don't have to do HIIT training and circuit cardio. There's nothing wrong with it. If you want to do that, you can. But you can easily walk for 20, 25, 30 minutes, moderate pace. I'm not talking about dripping sweat neither, but you may notice that your waistline might, have a little bit of sweat on it. But I'm not talking about dripping sweat cardio. I'm talking about it in a way where you're walking, it gives you a reboot, all right? You may be in a rut, or you may be a bit stressed from work, and just getting on a walking pad or going outside and walking for 15, 20, 30 minutes, you feel better. It helps us regulate stress. It helps us regulate our mood. That way we have the bandwidth and the energy physically and mentally to be able to, push throughout the day and be able to, get those deals and hustle. Because hustling, it requires energy, man. It requires us being our best self. And a part of being our best self, we have to have energy. We have to feel strong. We have to have a clear mind. We have to be able to think sharp, right? And so these are the things that, walking, these are benefits of walking. Okay. Now, like I said earlier, I still do recommend you hit the gym. You got to make dates with the weights. If you're not making dates with the weights, you'll be walking and you'll notice that your body ain't looking the way you want it to. You'll be like, dang, I don't have no muscle. I don't have no definition. This happens because you're not lifting weights. But if you lift weights, but you also have walking alongside of it, and you don't have to do it in the same workout. You can, like a lot of times, I'll lift weights towards the end of the morning, and then later on in the afternoon, I'll walk for 20, 25, 30 minutes. Just depends on how much time I have. And so you can separate the two, just depending on how your work schedule is. But if you have the time, you can do all of it together. You can lift weights. As soon as you get done lifting weights, go right into doing cardio, or vice versa. You can do your cardio, then go right into lifting weights. All right. And it's all about personal preference. All right? It's not gonna make a great deal of a difference whether you lift first or do cardio first. The biggest thing is just getting it done. All right. So anyway, hopefully y'all found this YouTube episode helpful. If you did, go ahead and leave me a like below and let me know what you'd like to see more of down in the comments below, because I'm getting ready to gear up and start shooting more YouTube videos, and I want to know what y'all find most helpful. All right, we out of here. Let's go.